Hey guys, welcome back to Kerbal Space Explosion. Today, we're gonna spend some science, some serious science, some of that sweet, sweet science we got with our last spaceship, the aptly named Symmetrical Geodesic Shark Mach 5. We made it all the way out here to Minmus, which is where I am. We planted a flag, this guy right here, which says, "Become the zombie pigman you were meant to be." If you want that on a t-shirt, look in the description. There's a link there. You can get it on a t-shirt. That's where I got it from. This is from my fan art contest. This is one of the art designs for my t-shirts. Anyway, we took a soil sample. We did some EVA, did some reports, and we got everything. Well, we got the capsule at least, all the way back to Kerbal. Or Kerbal, whatever. Today, we're gonna spend that science. So, let's return to the Space Center and go into research and development. I have 304 science. I returned my other vessels back to Kerbal. I returned them back to Kerbal, and they didn't really give me that much science, but we got a little bit extra from returning them. The one around the moon and the 3 around the planet. So we have available this guy, advanced rocketry, which will get us the larger tank and the radial engine. Then we've got general construction, struts, launch stability, radial decouplers, and the tricoupler. Then we've got, flight control, which is going to get us a little winglet, the jet cockpit, a unmanned cockpit for unmanned spaceflight, and then an inline reaction wheel. And then down here we've got some parts for landers to land on the surface of things, a low power engine, landing struts, and a radial parachute. Okay, so of those, the one I want first and foremost is this one. We really need the struts. These will help. I like these. Everything there is good. Let's take it. We have 260 left. What did we unlock now? Or what can we view now? Fuel systems. Advancing towards a better understanding of how fuels flow through a rocket. The Rocco Max. Ooh, that's a very low power rocket. Then we've got a monopropellant tank. RCS tank. Fuel duct. That's important. And a thruster. RCS thrusters. Those are good too. So there's some good stuff there. Advanced construction, we've got these are some more fuel tanks, a different decoupler, an adapter between the small and large fuel tanks. That's a similar thing, but going the other way. And then another detachment, a radial decoupler. All right, and down here, 8 parts. Look at this. Aerodynamics, okay. Control surfaces, tail connector. These are all plane parts, more or less. Jet engine, fuselage, radial air intake. Next, I definitely want to get these so we can land on the surface of things in a more efficient manner. And get some soil samples for lots of research. So let's see. Now we can see this one. Oh, rechargeable battery packs. Definitely want that, for sure. Had a big problem with having enough charge to transmit reports when I was on my missions. We also get, what is this? Science Junior. Cutting edge self-contained laboratory. Okay, so it looks like maybe that's another thing to do science experiments, which means more research, more science points, which is what we want. And what is this? Fully deployable communications and data transmission system. So probably a better antenna. Transmission interval 0.3, packet size 2, total throughput 0.6. Where was our original? Maybe, oh, I guess this is this one. Packet size, transmission, resources per... Yeah, I would have to look back and forth to see what the difference is. Looks like this new one takes more power. But we could look at that in more depth later, but I definitely want the battery. It's 45. All right. Look at all this. This is awesome. Okay, electrics. So, a rechargeable battery bank. More batteries. Photovoltaic panels. We definitely want a solar panel. And some lights. Then we've got, what, a thermometer? That is for more science experiments. And some ladders, looks like. That takes 90 science. Oh, wow. So we can only do, if we do this bracket here, we can only do 2 of them, more or less. Landing struts, the little tiny ones that snapped off my other lander before career mode. Small gear bay. High performance gear designed for atmospheric use. Okay, and what did we leave behind here? Airplane parts, and then over here, the big fuel tank. Of those, what was this? A thermometer. I definitely want the photovoltaic panels. And what else did we have? RCS stuff and fuel tanks. Lots of options here. Decouplers, different sizes. I think maybe this one is the way to go. And this is the airplane stuff. Okay, let's do this one. Ooh. Okay. Oh, we definitely... I can't even click on that. I wonder why. Maybe because I need to unlock it from 2 angles or something? I don't know what this means. Okay, and then here, this is 160 specialized construction. Storage container, adapter, girder, docking port, bicoupler. Okay, but we can't afford that. And I don't think I want to get this just for the 1 fuel tank. I think we can get by with the fuel tanks we have right now. I don't want the airplane parts right now. We have to prioritize. I think since I want to make a lander. So, and I want to be able to transmit more efficiently from orbit. So I think the photovoltaic panels and the rechargeable battery pack, whatever, and also the lights. I think this is the one we want. Let's do that. And wow, look at all these nodes we have. I can even zoom out. This Christmas tree is getting crazy. Here's some more ornaments on our Christmas tree. We need to turn green. Precision engineering. Okay, so these are all the tiny little thrusters for rovers and landing things. Small fuel tanks. This is all real small stuff. That's the really small stacked decoupler. Then over here we've got a battery, more solar panels, 4 types of solar panels and a battery. And then over here, a barometer, science, a mobility enhancer. I don't know what that is. And then we've got another 2 mobility enhancers. I'm not sure what those are. All right, but we have a lot of new parts. Let's make a ship. So here is Kerbal, where we'll be launching from. Looks very pretty. And looking at the information here, it has a gravity of 1. It has an atmosphere that extends up to 70,000 meters. And an atmospheric pressure of 1. I guess the unit is based on Kerbal's stats, similar to how gravity is based on Earth's stats. So gravity on Earth is 1. And the temperature, I don't think that matters. We will need an escape velocity of 3,400 meters per second to get off Kerbal. And that's where the bulk of our fuel will be spent. If we zoom way out, way out. Over here is Duna. That is our target. We have to get way over here. So, let's zoom in and take a look. Duna has a gravity of 0.3, which is much less. And you only need an escape velocity of 1372 meters per second. It has an atmosphere, but the pressure is 0.2, and it only extends up to 50,000 meters. So I kind of think that it has an atmosphere, but barely. And so if we can get to Duna, I think getting off of it and back to Kerbal should be vastly easier than getting here. And over here is Ike. It's satellite. Ike has a gravity of 0.1, basically, which is about twice that of Minmus. So landing on this should be easy, not too hard. And it does not have an atmosphere. So if we can get out here, we could probably do a lot. I think what I want to do is try to reverse engineer my spacecraft and think about what will happen once we're here and we're trying to leave. So we're going to need a rocket that is capable of landing on at least one of these. And when we get out here, I mean, who knows what's going to happen. I'm going to play it by ear depending on how much fuel I have left. But I need a rocket that can land on one of these and then take off and fire back all the way to Kerbal, way over there. So let's make a little lander type thing. We only have one command pod. I was actually thinking it might be cool to attach a few unmanned rovers and send those down to Duna and Ike, and then report back to science powered by the photovoltaic panels or whatever. But unfortunately, I don't actually have any parts to do that. I don't have the wheels to make a rover. I don't have the any other pod. I don't have any of the unmanned pods. We can't do that yet, but eventually, maybe in future missions to other planets, once we've unlocked that kind of thing. So we have to use that pod. And then, of course, we want a decoupler below it. I also don't have any reaction thrusters to make my big rockets more stable. We have to just design them in a way that makes them stable. But we need to pick a fuel tank. So last thing we need to do is go from Duna's sphere of influence and get all the way back here. So this guy holds 180 liquid fuel and 220 oxidizer. Has a total mass of 2.25 and a drag of 0.2. Okay. I recently unlocked this fella. He has twice the fuel. He weighs twice as much, but it has the same drag. So it's more efficient to use one of those on your ship than two of those, because this has twice the drag of that. So I think we may want to do something like this. Now, another thing I could do is I could put this guy on here. He has a drag of 0.2, but a mass of only 0.1. So this is 0.1 heavier than using two of these. But here's a problem. I don't think I should use this because I haven't unlocked any ladders yet. So I'm going to have to construct this thing in the hopes that on Duna's low gravity, if we EVA our little fella, he needs to be able to climb back up by jumping and boosting with his little jetpack. So I need to create a series of steps for him to get back up, more or less. So I think I'm going to do it like this, even though it looks kind of derpy. And we're going to put... I'm going to put this guy on the bottom. Can we do it like that? Now I wonder, I can do that. So what is the benefit of using... Where is it? This guy is an adapter. We could put this here, right? And then the rocket. I don't know what the point is if we really need to do that, though. So if you think about it, the little Kerbal guy, he's going to be right here. He needs to get all the way back up to that. So here is the Duna Disaster Lander, which is what I've decided to call it. And the rocket we'll build next will be called the Duna Disaster Mark, whatever, however many tries it takes me to get it right. I've put everything and the kitchen sink on this guy. We've got lights now, so when we're in the depths of space or on the dark side of a planet, I can actually light things up and let you see things. We've got 3 of these goo containers. I don't have the other science thing. We're going to put that on the bigger rocket. There wasn't really room. I've got a series of steps I made here from these guys, these decouplers, and they don't do anything. They will pop off when the capsule itself pops off. They are just going to be there to try and help Jebediah get back onto the thing in 0.3 gravity. I may not need these. He may be able to just fly on Duna, but I don't want to leave it to chance, having never been there. I just don't know. Got some solar panels. We have some landing gear, which we can extend. And it does this. I wonder if the thing is so heavy in Kerbal gravity that it can't quite lift itself. And we've also got some battery packs. Okay, so we can definitely fly the thing. You can see I also put some parachutes here. And right now they're staged at the very top. And go. Let's launch it for a second. Okay, fairly stable. And I use the weak rockets here so that I can have a more finicky landing. And also they're more efficient in a vacuum for coming back. So I thought that was probably the best choice. Now this center guy here has twice the fuel of these outer guys. So when these guys run out, we'll still have half the fuel from this, and it'll be much lighter when we're returning. What else? So I think what I want to do now, I put some parachutes on the thing because I want to test to see if we can land it. And if we can land it on Kerbal, we can definitely land it on Duna. So the next thing I want to do, I want to put it on top of a big rocket and get that rocket into orbit, and then try to come back in and use the parachutes to help land. I don't know how effective they'll be on Duna's thin little crappy atmosphere, but if they help even a little, it'll probably be worth it. I present to you the Duna Disaster Lander Tester. I'm not sure if we'll actually make it into orbit, but let's try. I've gone with kind of a honeycomb shape. I'm missing a number of parts I'd like to have, particularly the fuel lines. So I can't do the most efficient staging that I would like to do. So I kind of have to do this thing where the outer tanks, the outer rockets have smaller tanks, and we just eject them as we can. So one of the things I've learned mostly from your comments is that I need to keep my velocity down to about 200 meters per second while I'm in the thick part of the atmosphere. Otherwise, we're just fighting against the atmosphere and wasting a lot of fuel. So let's do that. Let's keep it nice and steady there, just right at around 200. Also, thank you for correcting me on what ascending and descending nodes really mean. I try to learn the game from playing the game, and I'm trying to avoid going to... Okay, we're not quite out of the thick part of the atmosphere. I try to avoid going to wikis and watching too many tutorials, because I feel like if I do that, then it might make my solutions to the problems I encounter less creative or less interesting, because I just may end up doing what someone else has done. Let's see, where is the 90-degree mark? It's going to be over... We sort of rotated, but we should be able to speed up now. It's right over here. We can start our gravity turn. We rotated a little bit rising, but that's fine. I can adjust on the fly. And we're about to lose our first set of tanks with this particular... Yeah, okay. I'm actually going to throttle down while those fall off. And then I'm going to slowly throttle back up, just so they don't crash into my other tanks and destroy my whole rocket. Alright, we are going like gangbusters. I think we need to stay basically right at around 45 degrees. And see, I'm not sure if we'll actually make it into orbit. We'll try. If I do everything just right. There's 80, that's far enough. Okay, let's stop there, and then that's all the way up to 90. That's fine. Let's see if we can actually get this guy into orbit. I kind of doubt it, but we can try. Let's make a maneuver here. Let's see. Get that up to... Doesn't have to be perfect. Whoops. No, not another maneuver. Let's do this. 84, 105. If these numbers were available without mousing over while you're making maneuvers, that would be so useful. 181. That's good enough. I don't care. And let's start rotating. We've got a minute and a half. Another thing you told me in the comments was to start my burn halfway to the estimated timer here. So that window should be your halfway mark, and to start your burn halfway to it. So we will do that. In fact, I may actually start even a little bit early because we're about to lose a lot of fuel tanks. I'm going to have to slow down my throttle in order to eject them safely. Let's speed up, and that kind of halts my rotation as well. So we'll get down to about here. Okay, and see if I can rotate just a little. And we're gonna start early because I'm gonna lose some of this power. And that helps me when I'm throttling. That helps me stay right on target there. Okay, let's go. Okay. So I'll throttle down and then throttle up a little bit until those are gone. And then we'll throttle all the way up. There we go, and we're not even to our node yet. So that's all right. Now, I'm not sure if this is the most efficient way to get to orbit. I'm going to do some more fine-tuning tests. The goal is to get to Duna. So hopefully I can get high enough into space to have a lot of this left over for our burn to Duna. So I'm not really trying to fine-tune it for getting out of the atmosphere when we haven't even added the boosters. Okay, let's see, how far did we get? We can get rid of this guy. Oh, another thing, which I just realized, well, something you told me, is that when you make a maneuver, let's go and do this, you can drag this around. I didn't realize that. That is going to make things so handy. And I realize I don't need to correct my trajectories once I have an encounter. A lot of things make sense after you've done them in the game once. So please have some patience with my nubite. Let's get rid of that guy. We're done with him. Okay, so next we've got the parachutes. And we're basically going to wait until we re-enter. I'm going to have to think about where these come. I might set up a action group for them, actually, so I think what that allows me to do is to trigger them outside of this staging list. Now, I wonder if I can just... Can I move them around? Oh, you know, this is something I've never tried to do. Can I edit this while I'm already... Oh, I can't. I didn't know that. See? You learn something new every day. I just realized that I can change this on the fly. I was just thinking, maybe we'll get to this point in Duna, and my parachutes will be next on the list, but I want to fire my rockets to send myself down to Duna, and I'll have to fire the parachutes first. But no, I can rearrange them. That's very handy. All right, well, now we're basically just waiting until we get into the atmosphere, and we will start decelerating from the atmosphere. Duna has much less atmosphere. I don't know if the parachutes are going to do anything at all. I probably want some way to eject them as well. I'm going to have to think about that. I'm not sure what will happen there. Let's go ahead and speed up until we start to re-enter the atmosphere, which should be happening any second now. We should start getting the flames, unless we never got high enough to get out of it. Right about here. Yes, there it goes. Right when we get into this section of blue. And we're still decelerating. Let's go ahead and... Yeah, we can speed up for this phase. We're still decelerating pretty hard, so I don't need to shoot the... I don't need to shoot the parachutes yet until we're down to maybe 5 kilometers or even lower. And then I would just want to fly around, but I don't have any way to disconnect the parachutes. So this will be a little bit of a learning experience if I can do something about that. If I can get rid of them, or if I'm going to need the little disconnectors. We're still decelerating just from our drag in the atmosphere. Oh, look at that. There's our last fuel tank. It's coming down at the same time. Because I have not fired anything besides the decoupler since then. Okay, let's go and fire them. There they go. And they should open further once we get a little higher. Oh, let's get rid of you. Whoa! What was that? Okay, let's, oh, you know what? We can get rid of them. There we go. Okay. Fire that rocket! This rocket actually isn't powerful enough to fly under its own weight in Kerbal atmosphere, or in Kerbal gravity, but it should be okay. Wow, it should be okay in Duna's light atmosphere. So anyway, I think that's enough testing. I will make a few changes based on the stuff that just happened. Perhaps I should put the parachutes on this central container. I think the decouplers were under too much stress. So I'm going to make some changes. Next time we will launch for Duna one way or the other. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you later. Take it easy. Have a good day. Bye-bye.